survival rate for everyone dropped to zero.
Would you rather be dead? Would you rather die here? No. What did you want to be, Raymond K. Hessel? The question, Raymond, was what did you want to be? Answer it, Raymond. Jesus. Get up, get up.
Hey.
Get up, get up.
What's going on?
Get up, get up.
Current affairs brought to you by Bentley Blue Duck. What's going on, guys? Free Revolution, Curtis McGinn, Kill Some Productions. I'm your host, Joey Precious. Mimi, what's going on? How you doing? Let me get your mic set up. Go ahead and let's do a test. Test.
Test. How's that sound?
Go ahead. Pick it up a little bit.
Okay. Ooh.
Nice.
There it is.
There you go. Yeah, put it up. There you go. Perfect. How you doing today?
I'm feeling pretty good.
All right. Good to see you. So I am Joey Bridges, Uncle Pete. This is Honeybee, Elise,
Hi.
and Bucket List Bryant back there on the music for us this evening. Elise and Bryant have just joined us recently. This is their second show with us.
Yeah.
So let's welcome that for sure. And yeah, so awesome you being here.
I'm excited to be here.
Yeah, nice. I just saw you Wednesday night.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually that was a week ago.
Oh, okay.
I feel like it was the other night.
The Wednesdays they blend in for me, so.
Yeah, I bet. So you host out there, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. How did you pick up that gig?
I went when it was crowned. They used to be in a different location.
On
here.
Elizabeth, right?
Yeah.
Yep. Yeah.
And I went there when I was a baby comic. I still kind of am, but I just asked, so they let me do it.
So you,
Easy.
they had an open mic comedy there?
Yeah, they had it there for almost 10 years. It used to be called CK Net, I think. It's been like 10 years before I started there, so it turned into Crown Station. It's the longest running one in Charlotte. It's just in a different location.
I heard. We used to do hip hop open mic out there, like just like 4 or 5 years ago. But
cool.
that's how I know. Who's the manager?
Oh, well now it's Ryan.
Ryan.
I guess,
Yeah, that's how I know Ryan from the one in Elizabeth.
Oh,
But
cool.
yeah.
Yeah,
So
I love Ryan.
He's awesome.
I was excited to see a puppy. What happened to the puppy?
Oh yeah.
I heard the puppy's like a third of the show here.
I was gonna bring her, but like I've had a kind of stressful day the past couple of hours. I was rushing to get here, and I wasn't sure if it was okay. I remember you said I was a little tipsy the last time.
When you got the invite, she was a little. Couple sheets.
Crown Station, I get a tab there, which is means I don't pay
It's a
for
bad
booze,
thing
and I
for-
just drank.
Hey, ain't nothing wrong with that. Sometimes you need a drink.
Because vodka sodas, just keep them coming.
Yep.
So, yeah.
I met
Tag
your
up everybody. So
I met your friend Crystal Lynn. Are you friends with her, or she just started doing the comedy up there?
Crystal Lynn.
One of the first females that went up. Is her name Crystal Lynn?
That was Denise O'Young.
Denise O'Young? I'm
Asian
sorry.
girl?
No, the other woman.
Crystal.
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 Yeah.
Crystal.
Crystal. Oh yeah, Crystal.
Yeah, yeah,
okay,
yeah.
She's cool. We actually, funny story, Pete, Bryant. She told me her contract. It was a woman, comedian, went up, and she was like, "So what's the dog tag all about?" And I read it to her, and I told her like, "Well, I went to this leadership training." And she's like, "Really?" And she's like, and then she stated her contract, and I was like, "Yes, you are right." And it was like a moment of like, we were like, she's like, "Oh, we got our own language." She high-fived me. It was hilarious. She knows me from other communities that I'm involved in. It was just crazy that like I met her in that environment. I just started doing the open mics, since going out to Crown Station. It's the first one I've ever done.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, I've known her for a minute. She's great. I love her.
Do you enjoy doing? Do you hosting, or do you enjoy more the comedy?
I like hosting. I always tell the new comics you need to host a little bit, especially open mics, because it's brutal. It hurts, and it'll make you stronger in the long run.
Hosting?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I definitely have developed a love for it. So I am a masochist, so it kind of makes sense. But yeah, I like tagging up other comic stuff between the sets and stuff. It just makes me appreciate when I get on a stage if there's a whole bunch of people and they're actually like listening and stuff.
Yeah, I was gonna ask. You do comedy set kind of in between, so you get to practice in a way. Yeah, that's really cool.
Yeah. It's nice. It's just kind of learning how to handle crowds and stuff too. And
Yeah.
I
have
hate
fun.
the comedians that don't do any open mics, and there's like, I don't need open mics. I was like, well, you're not gonna probably be able to handle a really rough room one day. So you you know how to perform for people that aren't listening to anything you say, you can probably do pretty well in a room where they are. So
I know a lot of the
There's
guys
a lot
do
there.
their own. A lot of the guys that they go to that open mic do their own.
they run their own mics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Does who's the guy that does the sound?
Ben Stacy.
Ben Stacy.
Ben
Yeah.
Stacy.
He is awesome. So he does one, right? Who are the?
Yeah, he runs it at Plaza Midwood
Yeah.
Tattoo. I had a show out there way back when, and they started doing open mic after that. I did the whole Laugh Inc. show out there. Did I ever tell you about that? It's like the first show. I'm the first comedian ever in the history of time to get, as far as I know, according to Google, get tattooed on stage while performing.
Oh yeah.
And we did that there. It was like comedians getting tattooed
Wow.
while they're telling jokes.
Yeah. How was the joke telling?
It was less energy for sure.
Yeah.
Because I was being literally stabbed in the back while I was doing it, but it was still fun. And we had like they set up a projector so we could watch we had a video guy recording close-ups of the tattoos.
Which one was it?
Oh, it's on my back, and I'm not
okay.
particularly
No.
happy about it. So.
Were you squirming?
No, it wasn't my fault. But yeah, had to get it.
What was it?
It was supposed to be like it is like a microphone with some flowers and stuff, and this is kind of like a black glove right now.
But it was the first thing. I mean, that was awesome that you're the first person to
Yeah,
do that.
yeah. I made sure they were like, "Well, you don't want to headline it because it's your show." I was like, "No, I'm going first. 'Cause I want to be the first one technically to ever do that." So
I wanted to be tattooed by like 5 different people, like one leg, one arm, my neck or something, like at a convention.
you should have Ink Master. They'll probably do that for you.
I have some work by Ron Stafari from season 2 or season 1.
That's on his face, probably now.
Yeah,
We have a lot of contestants.
yeah, he does like more of the like cartoony artwork and stuff. It's pretty awesome.
Cool.
Yeah. So Two Set Tuesdays is brought to you by. Let's go ahead and shout out Crown Station. Crown Station. Woo-woo. Yeah. You have the open mic is called
Non-consensual comedy.
Non-Consensual Comedy, right? And that's on Wednesday nights at 9 p.m. Crown Station. So anybody that wants to do open mic comedy, I brought a friend of mine out there, never done it before. Got up there, just started telling stories about his family and his kid, and it's fun. Like, it really is so
Matt
much
was
fun.
funny
Pretty
that
cool.
night. I thought
Yeah.
that was really good.
And Bryant, even when we came out there one night, it was like 3 of us, Bryant, Katie, and a few of us, and he was like, "Man, I want to try that. Like, I think I could get
It's
up
a
there."
good space, a good outlet for people to have.
Oh
You
yeah,
know?
yeah. I
Yeah.
definitely want to. We're having music tomorrow night. We're having. I
Right.
don't know if you've seen Evan and Normal Dennis's thing.
Yeah.
We do it with Andy Perez too. It's called I think it's Dynamite Music Comedy,
Wow.
and they're
Oh,
all
that's really
yeah.
good.
It's really funny.
There
They're
was-
all good musicians, and I don't know. It's good. I'm
Normal
excited.
Dennis is really funny.
He's ridiculous.
Yeah, ridiculous. Yeah, absolutely.
I even told him, I joke about him with it because we've known each other for a few years now, but I'd seen him doing comedy for a while. But it wasn't until I saw him do music that I was like, oh, I respect him. And then we became
nice.
friends after that. So his comedy's dope, but I thought he was just a weirdo.
Yeah.
He is a weirdo.
I saw him
He's
at
definitely
Evening
weird.
News. Normal Dennis was the guy that kept repeating his name. Bryant, remember?
Yeah,
He was
I
like,
remember
"I'm Normal Dennis." Da 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 da.
Oh, Dennis.
Normal Dennis. Da 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 da. Like.
He's a boss, man. He knows what he's doing.
No, I
for
want to
sure.
see that,
Right.
so I'll be there
His
for
solo
sure.
music too. I saw that at Snug Harbor like a year or two ago, and I was just like, Jesus, this is so good.
Does he play guitar and all sorts of stuff? Or?
I don't know if he plays. He probably does. His brain's too big for his body. But what he did on stage by himself, it was weird. Kind of. He had a mixer, but he had like fake instruments on stage, and it was like definitely a performance art type of thing. But
Right.
It was dope.
Oh,
I
that's
definitely just
awesome.
stood there and like I was on a date too. And I was like, you need to stop talking to me. This is so good right now. So
Nice.
yeah, that takes a lot. You've seen me bring ladies up in there. It's like, no, it's hard to take my attention away from it, but
Yeah.
he's good.
That's what's
It's
up.
gonna be a good show. I saw them recently at Petra's, so
So that's gonna be tomorrow night. What's the name of the band?
Dynamite.
Dynamite, right? I saw the
Dynamite.
flyer. I think I put the flyer up on your post
Mm-hmm.
on the Current Affairs podcast. I shared it for you. If you if you want to go live, we have a clip or whatever. But I mean, that's just I offer
What?
guests. If you wanted to go live from your page or something, if you
Oh.
some people have that. They're like, oh, I want to go live. Is that okay?
Oh, I don't really.
Okay, cool.
I'm not with the technology like
It's
kids
alright.
these days and stuff. I just post my flyers. That's about it. I need to
Right.
work harder on that. I know. But,
Where's the most recent place you've been? What's going
that I
on?
traveled for was Birmingham. I opened for Chris Kattan.
Oh yeah.
I was telling you about that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, yeah.
That was dope.
When was that?
Not this past weekend, but the weekend before.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
You have fun traveling?
Yeah, I don't mind it. I catch up on my podcast, oddly enough.
True.
Yeah, mostly
True.
ghost stories, but
Ghost stories. Well, like
and
they
true
tell
crime and
stories.
stuff like that.
What's ghost stories?
Well, just
Is that a show?
No, there's a couple of different ones. There's just specifically like ghost stories and true crime because
Oh,
I'm a
cool.
white girl. We like that. We like that a lot.
That's awesome. So what else is going on? Elise, you have anything? What's going on for the week? Have you seen any news recently or anything?
I mean, nothing really that stands out. I mean, this is just one of those things. Let's see. Oh yeah, I did see something scrolling online. The roller coasters. So this has been this big thing where people are like falling off roller coasters and whatnot.
What?
I mean, yeah, like I was on Facebook and I think I scrolled through about 3 or 4 people's feeds where like the rides malfunction. I mean, this is nothing new. It's happened
Right.
throughout the roller coaster history, but it's literally like, I don't know. I just kind of saw it a little more prevalent than most. But I guess my question was when I saw it, I'm like, does that discourage the rider or the true roller coaster enthusiast from riding?
Nope.
Like
I am going to Carowinds tomorrow morning.
how does that make you
It's the
feel?
first time in like
Perfect
3 years.
conversation.
I know,
Right,
I'm sitting here,
like-
it's like, what the? How? Oh yeah, it's discouraging me for sure.
Is it really?
Uh,
I've never been to Carowinds.
I got a host tomorrow night too. I can't die on a roller coaster. I got
No,
things to
you
do.
can't.
No,
Just
no.
pray and keep going. That's what I do with everything. Like, just figure it out.
I'm
Like,
getting too old for that stuff anyway. I
what,
don't
for
know.
roller coasters?
How many roller coasters do they? How many roller coasters do they have?
They got a
Mm.
They got a big one.
Carowinds?
The
Oh,
Carowinds?
they got a bunch.
Oh, yeah.
They got a
At
big one, like
At
the,
minimum 6.
one of the biggest in the
Yeah, at
southeast.
least.
I'm pretty sure.
They're actually owned by Cedar Point, so Cedar Point is like one of the best
roller coaster builders.
roller coaster parks in the country.
Yeah.
They're like in the top 5 every
Well, it
every
used to
year.
be Paramount. It was so much better when it was Paramount. But
That was the name of the.
I'm still sour
oh,
about it. 'Cause it,
was-
well, it was owned by Paramount,
the
so it was
movie.
like all of it was movie stuff. They
Right.
had like the hurler
They used to
from Wayne's
shoot
World.
here a lot.
Oh man, it was
I'm really
so
good at
good.
math, and like because there's 6, we think it's like 1 out of 10 million chance that you're.
Yeah.
Right. So like if you do 6, it only makes it like a 1 out of 5 probability that something will
Hey,
run.
but your math's
Like
not gonna make
20%.
it better.
Yeah. It's only like
Math
20%.
is what's gonna save me.
Right.
It's only 20%.
So, okay, in keeping the conversation going, again, this is 2 Cent Tuesday, guys. We are a current affairs podcast, and this is just the first segment that we do, our 2 Cent Tuesday. It literally is an introduction of what's on your mind. Like, what's on your mind? We're going to engage in the platform. We're going to get engaged with you guys. Just trying to figure out, hey, what really is that thing that's like on your brain right now? What's bothering you? What's that nagging thing that's been on your mind all day? I want those thoughts. That's what I want. I want you guys to give me those thoughts. Let me know. It can be anything from TV, reality TV, politics, religion, relationships, etc. Just whatever it is that you got. So I'm here to listen.
Is anyone here a vegetarian? There's good news.
Yeah, I'm going on 1 year.
Great news. But there's even greater news. The tariffs are affecting the meat industry to the point where like it's all held up at the borders. So
yeah, I heard about
woohoo,
that today. Yeah, we have
for
like
non-meat eaters. Yeah.
The tariffs in
Yes.
general is affecting a lot of
Farmers-
businesses.
Farmers,
Like,
particularly. Yeah, it's crazy. All right. Here's I want to give an opposing thought to because I know my brother tells me it's like the first thing that you ever talk about, anything you say about Trump is always gonna be negative. So let me think about this. There's people are saying that like he's just being tough, and he's like, wait and see. Even though it's affecting it now, if you just wait it out, it's going to be a better deal. Like, I think I can say I can trust in his, like, business sense. Like, I think he's a bully for reasons, but it scares a lot of fucking people. And I'm not a
Right.
fan of his at all, like, 100%. Like, but I'm going to flip it around and say that, like, this is his tactic, this is his technique, and, maybe he doesn't know how to speak properly or say what he's trying, but whatever. Anyway, so that's my thought on it. But it is affecting a lot of shit.
What a lot. Like I do international business, and the steel industry is getting hit very, very, very hard by it. So yeah, we'll see. Just
We bring it from Canada, right?
I bring it from India and Korea.
That's to support steel production in the U.S. though, yeah? Is that a real
No,
thing?
no,
That's not gonna work.
no. I mean, God, you would have to bring back the what period was that? The Revolutionary
Yeah,
period.
because they closed all the factories.
Yeah, everything's
and-
closed here. I mean, you have
Yeah.
smaller manufacturing productions here, but most of it is in Mexico or either.
Could they get bigger?
Are you
here?
into politics like that? Do you pay attention for particular
The
reasons?
irony
comedy.
of all of this is today is the first day that I watched the news in over a month because I took a break. I watched the news every single morning for like probably a couple of years, but I finally Donald Trump was breaking my soul,
That was
and
it.
I was just
That
like
was
I took like a month off. It's the longest I've taken off, and today was literally the first day. So I know about the meat thing happening,
Yeah.
and his face and what it looks like again.
Yeah,
so
right.
That's enough.
Yeah.
But, I usually do, but I'm kind of in the dark right now, and I've been so happy. Oh, I've just been so happy, and now I'm sad again. So.
I don't even want to write I'm just starting out, but I don't even want to write jokes about it because it's like so. Like, who was the most recent? John Mulaney was on Comedic getting comedians in cars getting coffee with Seinfeld.
Oh yeah.
John Mulaney is hilarious.
Yeah, that's a good show.
So
like
John Mulaney said something like, "You must get it all the time." Like he was saying how fans come up to him and say like, "Oh, your comedy must be. You can't write this stuff." He's like, "Yes, you
Right.
can. It's so easy. Like
Yeah,
I don't even
that's all
talk about it. It's
yeah.
so like, yeah."
Well, I will say I've been obsessed with comedy since I was a youngin', but
Yeah.
definitely Donald Trump's the first president I've ever, and other comics will say it too. They're the first one. He's the first one that comedians have struggled like this with writing about him.
Word.
Like it's kind of scary a little bit to write about him and stuff, and it's just the humor isn't. It's like, oh, this is kind of real. Oh shit.
Yeah, yeah. Yeah, it's not really
Yeah.
that funny. Like,
Especially being in the South, I'm not too happy about it. I'd rather tell people I'm a homosexual than talk about Trump in like South Carolina, which is pretty scary.
Yeah, I don't think anybody else wants to talk about it either. It's more like
that's the
moving
thing,
on.
it's just, let's pretend like
It
this
always
happened.
goes
That's
there,
not
yeah.
a conversation starter. Like,
No.
it will definitely end one rather than start
Yeah,
one.
there's too many feelings floating around about it. It's hard to make it funny.
So, Brian, do you have anything on the live right now as far as what the people have to say about 2 Cent Tuesday? What is really going on? I have my people live here on the conversation platform as well. What's up, guys? I wanted to say hi to all my platforms. What's up, good people? Welcome, welcome, welcome. Hi, this is Current Affairs Podcast, and we have the lovely Miss. I like for people to say their name because it's power behind
I
it.
forgot it. It's cool. It's Mimi
God, you're
Benfield.
good. Minnie, last name?
Mimi Benfield.
Mimi Benfield. Y'all give
The gay of
Mimi,
sunshine.
give Mimi a heart, a high, a like. What's up, Mimi?
Politics and airplane.
Hey, there we go. She is live in the building as well. I just wanted to take this time to see what you guys got. What's on your mind? What's going to happen is we're going to read. Some of these people are going to just let us know what their 2 cents are. We're going to read them out, and then we're going to kind of see what our 2 cents is on their 2 cents.
Word.
Hey.
What are you watching on Netflix? Anything?
I just watched that new, what was it called, Father of the Year last night, just because Happy Madison produced it or whatever.
Oh,
But,
Adam Sandler, right?
yeah,
Yeah.
I'll watch any of that. That's just nostalgic for me. But,
I got the mustache.
oh, of course.
Nice.
That a long time ago.
Nice.
Covering up this white flesh. Make something out of it.
Yeah, I'm still working too.
Yeah.
Yeah. Where do you get some of your work done?
Well, my main guy that does my sleeves is Blake Thomas Kennedy, the BTK.
Okay.
Yeah, he's down in Hilton Head now. He was out in Seattle for a while, but
Oh wow.
he's my main dude. But I just went to see his name's Jefferson Monroe. Yeah, out at FU or Foods
Foods.
Custom
FU,
Tattoo.
yeah.
He just gave me this one recently. I like
What is
his. Oh, it stands for Dead Moms Club. It's like a mushroom cloud.
That's dope.
It's
I like
a nuclear event.
I like the moon.
Yeah.
Whose face is that?
It's Lana Del Rey's face with my eyebrow.
Nice. Who's Lana Del Rey?
Really?
Question.
Yeah, sorry.
What is Father
I
of
was
the
around when
Year?
Comedy Central first came out, right? Remember when
Is that a movie
Comedy
that's
Central
out?
first became a channel?
I don't watch a lot of
I was like
TV.
11 watching comedy. Like it,
I was a
I
young
love
watcher for sure.
watching comedy.
Okay. Yeah, Lana Del Rey, she's a singer. She's like a
Gotcha.
soulful singer.
So
I
there's
love a beautiful woman.
quick question. There's a movie. It's out. It's called Father of the Year.
Yeah.
I want to say I have one of my listeners, Zaida.
Oh, you
What's up,
just said
Zaida?
Yeah,
that.
that's
Yeah.
the Netflix I just watched.
Okay,
Yeah,
cool.
yeah.
She says, "How was it?"
It's funny. It's exactly what to expect from a Happy Madison, Adam Sandler kind of movie.
Oh.
It gave me, the feels from back in the day. I wouldn't say it's going to be, one of the top movies of all time, but it gives you what you want if you like Adam Sandler stuff. He's not in it, but
Is it his
It was
same
pretty
cast? Like some of the guys, you know how
Oh, yeah,
some
it
of the
was
guys
definitely a
are.
lot of the people
Yeah.
from all those movies and stuff.
So it
A
was
lot
a
of
straight to Netflix joint.
Yeah. I
Okay.
think it just came out
A
yesterday.
lot of
or the day
people are
before.
doing that.
I was
now.
just about to say that they
Yeah,
are. That's
yeah.
becoming a big thing now.
Yeah,
Now,
it's just easier.
in comedy, somebody said something about writing 5 years. It takes about 5 years to write a special. Like a lot of guys are doing the Netflix
Yeah.
specials now. I see. It's good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I,
I'm trying-
comedians I've seen online and stuff talking about working for Netflix, it's just so much easier than any other network.
Oh.
It's just straight to the point, you know.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Now, before Netflix, what would anybody use? Like just YouTube, or you get a deal
Well,
with the.
I'm just now getting to that point, but yeah, like obviously want to get on a late night show first, which oddly enough auditioning for NBC this weekend.
Nice.
So hopefully I'll have that happening.
Got you.
Yeah, but then once you get to that level, HBO or something like that. That's the main ones that have it, and Comedy Central obviously.
Yeah.
Their little 30-minute ones, but
So I have a question. Speaking of relationships, oh, actually, you know what? My boy D, Chevy Music, has a question. He says, what demands the most sacrifice, love or dreams?
Oh. Oh wow. Some people sacrifice their dreams for love.
Yeah.
So, what demands the most sacrifice?
What demands the most sacrifice, love or dreams?
I don't know. I'm still new in the whole love thing. I just finally met a nice girl, but I've been working on this dream thing for a while.
Yeah.
So
Right.
I don't
I
know if
think-
I can answer that really.
So, have you been making sacrifices for the dream?
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
that's the number one thing for me right now. Is this whole comedy thing. So
Brian, what you got?
I'm going with dreams.
Dreams?
I'm dreams too.
Dreams?
I think I'm going with dreams.
I feel like I dream every day, so I mean, and I just a sacrifice to get to those dreams. It's a everyday struggle.
I'm going with love. I think that, I think love demands the most sacrifice only because, for me personally, it takes a part of who you are. Like, I understand, like, you have to sacrifice, for your dreams, but I don't necessarily think, like, you can put yourself in certain predicaments, as far as vulnerability is concerned, to get to better for your dreams, but love is something that you just willingly, like, just decide to do. Like, it's just one of those things where, I don't know, that's just my
I'm
answer.
still new
It's
with
love.
the whole love
It's like
thing.
a let
so,
go. You mean like
okay.
such like a vulnerability, like a let go of.
Yeah, I
full
mean,
trust, like-
and it's everything is hitting you from all different angles, and it's unexpected. Like, it's just, I mean, you dive into love first, and then certain things come after that. You know what I'm saying? Like, when you have a dream, it's like you work. You kind of know or can expect some of the things that come with that. But you dream, you have the dream, and you're getting to the dream. Whereas in love, like, you fall in love or you have this love first, and then things come in love, and you have to figure out in love, am I going to stay or am I going to go? Like,
How to get through all that?
how do you get through all of that?
Wow. Yeah.
That's just
You're
mine.
blowing my mind.
Yeah.
I'm in a new relationship. I'm not ready for all that stuff right now.
How soon? How soon?
About
Few
a
months?
month in. About
Oh,
1
okay.
month. Yeah,
Oh, okay.
yeah. We're
It's a
almost
full- it's a
lesbian,
relationship,
almost
or-
like you hauling right now. I've never had a girl like this, so it's pretty weird.
Nice. Congratulations. Yeah.
Oh, well, speaking of relationships, I have one. What is social media, or how is social media in reality TV, society in general, how are they influencing relationships now?
Oh.
Like, is it a positive thing or is it a negative thing? Like,
I'd say what I've seen with my friends and stuff, probably negative. Everybody's all like stalking each other's pages and getting upset about them liking someone's picture on Instagram. Or,
so do you feel like it creates insecurities more than it
or
would
just
have?
magnifies it if anything.
I like that, magnifies. I
Yeah.
agree, because they're already
There's
going to be
too much
there.
out on the table. There's no mystery left anymore. You just kind of, why are you liking her picture?
I also think a lot of people are being real like selfish nowadays. It's like it's just all about like they want to be. I don't think anybody's. I see a lot of it. People saying like there's no people that want to be committed anymore. It's all about these dudes doing this and these girls doing that and being all over social media and like, it's all about impressing everybody else instead of like, just one person. Or
It's a lot easier to get attention than it ever has been.
Yeah.
So, from so many people.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Social media.
Definitely set
I'm
into it.
glad I don't have any daughters. That's all I can say.
Ooh,
about social
Man,
media.
oh man, yeah, for sure.
Boys are just as bad.
Yeah, they
Oh,
are.
they're just as bad.
Yeah, but I feel like if I had a son, the things he'd be up to, I could coach those easier than I could protect my daughter at these.
Yeah.
Like I don't want
You're
my
jinxing
daughter
yourself
being
right now.
like 14 or 15 and like trying to show her cleavage on social media.
I mean,
I'm not comfortable with that. That's coming for you. Just
I definitely recognize that it's harder for a female like to be raised, and I mean, there's different things like I have to worry about with my daughter that I wouldn't with my son. My son can run around naked. You know, my daughter can be wearing underwear and a t-shirt. And I'm like, hey, put some shorts on, you know, or something like that. You know, it's a different. I don't know. It is going to be hard to be a
I guess I'm
dad.
just glad I don't have babies in general right now.
In general,
It's a lot.
in general, no way. I think man.
I got a hard enough time. I think about my mother was 40 when I was 20.
Right.
And I'm almost 40. I'll be 40 next year, and I can imagine myself with a 20-year-old.
Oh
Right,
man, yeah,
right.
I'm not ready for that. And then have done it for 20 years, and like with 20 years experience by that
Yeah.
point. God bless. Shout out to my mom. Thanks a lot.
Yeah.
I'm still alive, breathing air. Thanks.
I mean, but you know what? I think one of the biggest things and key things that are missing in a lot of what these kids have to deal with nowadays is the fact that they don't see the love from starting from small up. You know, with parents. You know, with people around. There's no more sense of community anymore.
Yeah.
So you don't have that togetherness. Nikisha Glenn says, you know, keep your relationship. Everybody doesn't need to know everything.
Exactly.
And I think we have a hard time of having people come together to say, hey, like, this is mine, this is how we do it, this is our family unit, this is how we're structured, and having our kids built so strong in that it really doesn't matter what else goes on outside,
That's
you know,
what
the
I'm
home.
focused on. Yeah. It's definitely raising
My boy
my kids
D.
to be strong enough to say.
My boy D says it's a double standard. The whole dating thing. That's why there's so many men in jail having emotional issues and females treated so fragrantly. So as far as like the way that the relationships, I guess, are handled, he's saying there's a double standard there. And
Like domestic disputes and stuff.
right. That's what it looks like he's saying, yeah.
You're not going to win with me on double standards because, to me, all people were created equal. So, I mean, there are things that I'm not going to get me on that one.
Should the man be held more accountable in a domestic dispute?
No, I don't. Why? Like,
Yeah, I know. I think
I mean,
that's
I
the
don't-
way
I don't
it's
think so,
perceived, but yeah.
It doesn't mean it's physical, obviously, but I mean,
Yeah, I think there's a line to be drawn. I don't think that the man should be held completely responsible in those situations, but it always seems to be a lot of the time it's the man that gets in trouble. But in a domestic dispute, both get arrested, don't they? Like if you're both participating and beating each other up.
I mean, you
both
can,
get
but
arrested.
I mean, now it's
The
conditioned.
answer to that is no.
Right
No.
now, it's conditioned to whoever calls first.
Yeah.
Like
yeah.
it literally is, and you know, before if somebody is trying to protect their reputation and protect themselves in a
yeah.
situation,
Yeah.
like it's now not. It's who can call the police the fastest, which is instead of who can resolve this the easiest or
Yeah.
the quickest. It's like who can dial up the fastest.
Man, I had a bad one. I had an ex-girlfriend in an apartment, and she it was long story short, she brought like the new boyfriend to the house, and I was upset. And it was a bad thing, but we wouldn't hit each other or nothing, but it was like,
Crazy.
Yeah.
2
it's a
Cent
crazy
Tuesday.
story. 2 Cent Tuesday.
What you
is
find
really
on
big.
2 Cents Tuesday? Thank you
Yeah.
guys for joining.
Anyway, thank you so much for being here.
yeah, I'm
Let-
happy to be
awesome.
here.
Let the people know who are watching it if they have questions for me to send them in because we're going to move into eulogy now.
Yes. Awesome, guys. So, again, everybody on my platform, thank you so much. Current Affairs platform and The Conversation. Always keeping it going, guys. Thank you so much for tuning in. This was our 2 Cent Tuesday. We have Joseph Correa. We have,
Yes.
a.k.a., what's that name again?
Correa Joseph.
Correa Joseph.
Joey Bridges.
Joey Bridges. We have Mr. Pete himself, Mr. Peter McGinn.
Uncle P.
Uncle Pete.
What up, what up?
Then we got our DJ, Mr. Brian, aka
Bucket List.
Bucket List Brian. Go DJ, cause that's my DJ. Then we got me, Miss Honeybee. Hey y'all, hey. And then we have the lovely Miss Mimi. Hold on, let me turn you back
Her
around.
nickname is Gay of Sunshine.
Miss Mimi, aka Gay of Sunshine.
Yeah, that's my
Y'all say-
website too.
Tell us about Spaghetti Girl. You see, look.
Who is Spaghetti Girl?
Oh, you got the sticker up.
Yeah. There's a lot of stuff in
You can
here.
process step stickers too.
Yes, give me some. What's the Spaghetti Girl?
It's one of my oldest jokes. Is, yeah, it's just a saying.
We can start off
honestly.
eulogy here in a minute.
It's a girl that's straight until you get her wet.
I remember you telling
Wow.
that joke.
I like that.
Yeah. I was
'Cause
lesbian
then-
in North Carolina. There's only 7 of us, so I have to venture out sometimes. Lesbian gotta eat. All right, we gotta eat.
Awesome.
That's terrible. I didn't
No,
say
it's not. It's actually pretty neat. Hey, you know what? My favorite thing is I love to watch people live their truth.
that. Yeah.
A lot of people don't. That's one of my biggest things that I encourage people to do is to be themselves. So it's awesome that you have that bravery and you have that courage to say fuck what everybody else thinks. I'm gonna be me. I'm gonna do me. I'm gonna be funny. And if you don't think I am, fuck you. Or I can continue to do me because there's more people that's for me than it is against me. So
It's all
rock
good
on,
too.
girl.
Yeah. So that was 2 Cent Tuesdays. 2 Cent Tuesday, I'm gonna say, is brought to you by Crown Station. Shout out to Crown Station. So we're gonna roll into our next segment. It's called Eulogy, and it's spelled YOULOGY. So it's all about you. And Uncle Pete is the facilitator of this segment. He's gonna go ahead and let you know what it's all about.
So I looked over all the information that you sent us. It said since an early age you kind of knew you wanted to be a comedian. Can you talk about that a little bit? Like how old and some of your inspirations maybe?
Well, ironically, we talked about it a little bit. My dad already started stealing cable from the neighbors when I was little. I can't remember how old I was, but I saw Paula Poundstone. Have you heard of her?
Yep.
Yeah, I got to meet her not too long ago. But I saw her, and I didn't know what stand-up was, but I remember thinking, that's what I wanted to. Because I always wanted people to laugh. Even when they said when I was a little bitty baby and I was always wanting them to laugh at me and stuff. But in the 3rd grade, I think it was the 3rd grade, they had the whole class send around notes, like they passed around with each of our names on it, and each student wrote what they thought that kid was going to be when they grew up, their classmates, and almost all of them wrote comedian for me.
This is 3rd grade.
3rd grade, yeah, and I did it in a talent show that year too. That was the first time I ever did stand-up, was in the 3rd grade when I was 10 years old,
Oh wow.
and I failed miserably, so I had to take a 20-year hiatus, and I got back up, yeah. But no, it's just been a passion for a long time, but I can't see myself doing anything else.
Do you remember any of your jokes from
I
that
was
day?
gonna say.
Yes, I do. Jason Allen King does one of them, and I haven't even told him that. We toured together, and he did it almost every show, and I was like, you hack. You're stealing my jokes when I was 10. You must have been there. But no, it was like, hey, who all here has parents? And I was like, you're still a room full of elementary school kids. Get it? And I did a bunch of stuff about parents. What's up with that? They're always making me go to dinners and stuff. I don't know. It wasn't so great. I didn't have a microphone either, so it was kind of tough. But I do remember.
Do you remember any lessons that you learned from that day? Like today? Can you remember all right,
A microphone
I might have
helps.
bought a
When you're in
microphone
a
out.
gymnasium in front of your entire school, like 300 kids, maybe a microphone might be useful. Or
All the
project,
grades?
at least. Yeah, it was all of them, K through 6. Yeah.
That's awesome.
But I did it. I didn't have an issue getting up in front of everybody, so I haven't had a problem with that before. Not really.
Were you writing jokes the whole time since 3rd grade? Were you writing them down?
No. I thought that was just I wasn't feeling it. I didn't.
Did it get you in some trouble while you were in school? I would imagine. No, you weren't telling jokes when it.
No, if anything, it saved my ass. Like not just in school, but with jobs because I'm just funny and I can get away with a little bit more because I make the people that are in charge
Laugh.
develop a liking to me. I guess and I get away with more stuff than usual. I like that.
So another thing you had mentioned was one of your aspirations is to continue to move forward in comedy. What does that look like? Because I'm sure that there's a lot of different avenues that people
Yeah.
take when.
Well, after hosting for Chris Kattan, the day after I got back, apparently I had a bunch of good reviews from that show out in the Stardome. And half the guy, thank you, and half the guy that owns the Comedy Zone, he started all, he hit me up, like right when I got home, and was like, hey, I got 5 5 slots for this NBC audition. I don't know if you heard about it. They're doing it at Comedy Zone. It's an open audition, but you got 5 slots to send 5 comics straight through to meet with the scouts and stuff. So I'm one of them.
When is your date for
It's
that?
Saturday.
This Saturday.
night. Yeah. That's a dream job right there.
Wow.
Definitely a dream job working for the SNL. Writing for SNL would be.
Oh,
Since I was a
yeah.
kid, I was watching that since I was little, and that would be the number one.
SNL is the big one.
Oh yeah.
So writing is definitely something you're interested in.
Well, that's definitely where the money's at.
It's a
I'm always
different-
going to do stand up, but
Right.
if you want to make money, either you need to act or write. And I prefer writing. I'll act too. I don't give a damn. They're giving me a job. I'll do whatever they say. So.
Yeah, so they asked John Mulaney about that, whether or not if he was a comedian, like why don't you just write for yourself and do? He's like, no way, I totally love writing skits.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
love when someone gives me a topic. That's so much fun for me. That's with the open mic. I love when I can kind of tag on y'all's stuff. That's
Nice.
fun for me.
They shouted us out on the open mic. I handed who's the tall guy that's the
Candyman?
doctor? Yeah. I handed him a card to have him on the show, and he totally used me in his set. He was like, so this guy comes up to me with a blue duck card, and this guy talking about he's got thousands of fidget spinners at his house. I'm like, what the fuck? And I'm like, yes, yes, bro. Like, he's totally cool. I want to get him on the show as well. He's a funny guy.
Yeah, he's cool.
Yeah,
I like
that's
him.
awesome. So yeah, Pete.
If you think, like, if you had to tell somebody 5 keys to your personal success, what would you think they would be?
I have this conversation all the time. All the baby comics at my mic. I love helping new comics too. That's one thing in particular. I'm not a competitive comedian.
I noticed you promoting other places too.
Yeah, I
that's
like
awesome.
helping my boys. That's what I call Paul and Ben and all them.
Yeah.
They ask how to get booked. I love when Ben asked me that when he was still a baby comic. Well, he still is, but he was barely new. He's like, how do you get booked on shows? It's like, well, you'd be funny. That might help. Do that. Write a joke. And networking is really important. That's very important. Networking. James Hustle he's a boss at that. He blew my mind how big he is at that. But and also just going to every mic you can. I opened for Carlos Mencia when I was like a few months in, and regardless of how you feel about the guy,
Yeah.
he definitely knows what he's doing. And he's like, every single mic, every single stage you can get on, do that. Practice makes perfect.
Yeah.
You ain't ever gonna be perfect, so just keep practicing. I don't know. In my personal opinion, don't undercut people. That happens a lot. A lot of comedians talk crap about each other and try to. You don't want to book this guy. You want to book me. And let's just be nice. I'm looking at sunshine. Let's be nice to each other. We can all do this together. I'd rather have a reputation as being too nice than being
Being a
a
dick
slip.
or undercut,
Yeah.
It happens in other areas, like in hip hop open
Yeah,
mics and
it's
stuff.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But they do say hit as many as you can. So how many do you think you've done in your lifetime?
Oh God, who knows?
In the hundreds?
More than that.
Yeah?
Yeah, I've been at it for almost. I'm going on my 6-year anniversary pretty soon.
And you still do open mics, like or
I love open mics.
so
yeah.
you still keep it. What does that do for you in your professional? Like
It
keeps
keeps you
fresh?
humble.
Yeah.
It keeps you humble, that's for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah, especially the ones in Charlotte. Dear Lord. Because a lot of comics that won't do open mics, they're used to doing feature shows for the Comedy Zone, and that's usually a good crowd that's come out specifically to see comedy.
Right.
Open mics, they don't know what's going to
Right.
happen half the time.
Right.
So you're performing for a crowd that's like, yay, I'm here to laugh, as opposed to a crowd that's like, you're interrupting my drinks and
I'm trying to
conversation."
drink. Yeah.
It definitely makes you a different level, in my personal opinion. I'm sure there's exceptions to that rule, but I'm not talking shit about anybody that doesn't go to mics. But I've met quite a few touring comics that are just like, oh, I'm not doing it.
Not
So
anymore.
you're saying that the open mics are tougher for the most
Oh, yeah.
part because people aren't necessarily out for.
Oh yeah,
Nice.
definitely. And that's a good outlet to get the new stuff and work on the new stuff. Because if you can make a crowd of people, and Ben Stacy's been doing this a lot lately. If you can make a crowd of people that are talking amongst themselves, shut the hell up and listen to you.
Oh yeah.
Right.
You're doing something right.
Yeah.
You do that in front of a crowd that actually wants to hear it, and they're
You
going
go
to
to
lose
a
their damn
comedy
minds.
club, they kind of already know to be quiet because the show is
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
Focus is on the stage. Yeah.
People get spoiled with those a lot of the time. Don't get me wrong, I love the hell out of it, and if they want to keep booking me, please do. I love every second of it. But I think that's part of the reason I love it so much, is I know what it feels like to have the other. So
Yeah, I've heard comedians tell the audience, like, "Can you guys shut the fuck
I
up?
don't like that.
I'm like up here
Yeah,
talking."
I was gonna say, like, how do you handle hecklers? 'Cause I know a lot of comedians have different styles.
Yeah, I handle it with humor. I try to make it funny, and I'll interact with them. If they get too heavy on it, I haven't ever had to have someone removed, but usually I'll just make it funny and like do a sarcastic backwards insult, because 9 times out of 10 they're wasted anyway. They
Right.
can catch on to it. But no, I've never got mean towards an audience member, like really yelling.
Right.
I just do that slick like, I'm sorry your parents didn't love you. But
So I have a question for you. How did you overcome that fear of rejection?
who said I did?
Yeah, I mean, but you
I was
have
a-
to a certain degree, because I mean, you continue to keep going up there and keep doing it and
Yeah.
keep doing it and keep doing it. So there's a level in which you surpass, maybe not on a grand scheme, in which you're thinking in your mind, but to somebody who is terrified to get up there and seeing you doing it over and over again, what do you feel like was that thing that broke
Yeah.
you, that just said, you know what, forget it?
I mean, it's a constant thing. It's even not just with comedy, but it's just, I hate to use the term YOLO, but it kind of, you don't know. I mean, you're gonna regret it if you don't do it. Just freaking do it. It's the same with asking a girl to dance at a bar. It's like,
Right.
hey, I could do this, or I could be a pussy and not.
Right.
So I just don't. The main thing is don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy. Don't be a pussy.
Do you still get nervous, like in bigger? I mean, I
Yes.
think you should get nervous every time you go
I
on
do.
stage. 'Cause
What is it? My ex used to call it the chicken dance or something. I don't think you've ever seen it, because you've never seen me at a real club before.
no.
But yeah, when it's like Chris Kattan in particular, I do a lot of, like, I kind of hop around and wiggle a lot. It's like, don't fucking talk to me for 5 minutes. I'm not mean about it, but I definitely have to kind of. It's not me practicing my set. It's just me shaking my body,
getting the jiggles out,
getting the demons out, shaking them out,
shakes
shaking
out,
those
yeah,
demons
yeah.
out.
Nice.
You said you had a tab. They let you drink at the open mics. Do you
Yeah.
drink to kind of loosen up for other events too? Or?
No. Like, well, the Chris Kattan stuff after I'm done, I definitely drink just to have fun. But Crown, I don't get tipsy before I go on stage, or I'll never smoke weed before I go on stage. I have before there, not too. I don't know if you were there for that night, and it was just like, it was funny because it was like, guys, I'm so high right now. And that was
I
the
was
entire
there, I was
set.
there.
It was,
I was.
I was just talking about that. But no, it definitely. I used to. Really bad. I used to get really drunk before I went on stage to deal with the nerves, but I'm much more confident now in my material. And even if it sucks, I know it's not that bad.
Are you writing material like all the time?
Yeah.
Like, 'cause I know my friend is a hip hop artist, and everywhere he goes, he's finding concept for songs, right?
Oh, yeah, all
So
the
like
time.
you've come in here and you're already telling a bunch of jokes in your mind to see whether or not you can use material, or.
I mean, it's not like a conscious thing, but if there is something that happens, I do. I have a bunch of dry erase boards all in my house. If I have an idea, I just write it down, or I tweet it or text myself or something, like write something about this later.
Have you ever been recognized? Who's like an awesome celebrity or something or somebody you look up to that's recognized, like a tweet or like just shouted you out or something?
Margaret Cho has retweeted me quite a few times. I got to open for her like 2 years ago. She's dope. I love her so much. I think.
She's on that TV show. I mean that Netflix show. The girl that died and came back.
Oh, Drop Dead Diva.
Drop Dead Diva. We watched that. Yeah.
That's-
Margaret
that's
Cho
a
is
good one.
hilarious.
She's great. I've loved her for so long. I think Sarah Silverman has retweeted me. That's my favorite lady
She's
comic
awesome.
for
Yeah.
sure.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm doing all right on Twitter. I'm having a good time. I hate to say it's mostly porn stars right now that are retweeting me.
We talk about that a
I'm
lot.
happy about that.
Are you a full-time comedian? Do you
I'm about to be. I take care of my aunt, but I'm trying to get her situated so I can actually leave this state and for longer periods of time. I can't go too far.
So what's a day in the life or like a week in the life look like for you? Like,
At least 3 or 4 shows. And 3 of those, at least more than one of them is booked, paid for and stuff. And it's mostly my aunt right now, but as much gigs as I can get. I have my calendar. I just did my calendar at my house. It's a dry erase too. I color code everything because I take Adderall. And
You can see my board.
yeah, you got it. Yeah, and the red. Anything in red is comedy, and I was kind of tickled with my calendar today because I was like, God, this looks like a murder scene. Like, I'm doing good this month.
it's like 80% red.
More than that, probably. Yeah.
Congratulations, yeah.
Do you have a
Booze
certain
for fun.
distance you'll travel?
Wherever the hell they want me to go. I'm going
Yeah.
to Ohio for a week next month, which is something I never thought I'd say. Oh, what's to go there. But,
Go to Ohio for a week
Wait
next month.
a minute. What's wrong with Ohio?
I don't know. I said the same thing about Alabama when I got on stage every night. I was like, I'm so excited to be here, which is a very strange thing to say about Alabama.
That's cool.
Does
man.
anyone like vacation there? It's like, I want to go to Cleveland this my summer break. You know.
So
That's Brian's phone.
who are some of your other inspiration and mentors, you know, coming up or now currently?
Well, Blair Naya's mentor-wise would be she's been doing comedy a couple years longer than me here in Charlotte. As soon as I started, she, you know, girl power. She helps anybody that wants help, but definitely females. We kind of got to stick together because there's only a few of us. But she's always been there to give me advice whenever I need it. I'm trying to think. Who else? I'm sure I'm forgetting a couple of people, but she's definitely at the top of that list.
Got your mom down here.
Hmm?
Your mom
Oh
is
yeah.
on-
Well, she's dead. So yeah, I got these rings every time I go on stage. I'm a big stage anyway. So
Yeah,
I feel like
yeah.
I got a nice ghost of a dead mom to make sure they laugh at my jokes. So.
I like how you made that part. Like it's funny, but it's also sentimental. Like,
Oh yeah, well that's a real thing that happened. Like probably 2 months before she passed, and it was a sudden thing. We didn't know that we were talking about. She liked ghost stuff too, and we were talking about it. I was like, if you die before me, will you haunt people that don't laugh at my jokes? And I remember she died 2 months later, and she was like, well, you shouldn't talk like that. But yes, I definitely will. It used to be one of my jokes on stage, but it freaked people out. I was like, you should really start laughing right now because she was a nag. And she'll make you feel bad about your choices.
So your keys to success. It's important for you to be helpful to other people.
Yes.
Networking. Use a mic when it's possible.
Yeah.
Keep practicing, right? Every chance you get to get on a mic, get on a mic.
Mm-hmm.
Have integrity and be supportive. Don't be sleazy and talk bad about
Yeah.
people in the same field. Stay humble, and it helps to be funny.
Yeah, that's a pretty big part of it, but not the most apparently these days. I've seen some Netflix specials out recently. Oh, okay.
Do you think it's as important to be kind to people and network well as much as it is to be funny? Like, do you find that there's some funny people, but they just happen to be like
Yeah,
really big
definitely.
assholes and like nobody gives a fuck about them like that?
Yeah, that too, but also people that are a little hard-headed about networking. They don't want to. They consider it kissing ass and stuff like that. I was like, if you want to call it that, you can. I call it just being friendly and trying to make shit happen.
Right.
But
That's a stretch for
a
some
lot of
people.
them, yeah, a lot of them are like,
Yeah.
they should be asking me to be on this stage because I'm amazing. And I was like, well, they have thousands of comedians trying to get on their stage. They're not really out, you know, Comedy Zone in particular, they're not going around like, ooh, can we find a comedian?
That's where it
Have
helps.
so
To,
many
That's
people."
where it helps to be humble rather than be
Yeah.
ego driven, right?
Yeah,
You gotta be
exactly.
confident, but you don't want to lose yourself
Yeah.
in that, right?
Yeah, I know there's plenty of other comedians that are probably much funnier than me, but I get my stage time.
Another question I like to ask people: do you know what TED Talks are?
Yeah.
If you were to give a TED Talk, what do you think? If somebody called and offered you an opportunity to inspire people for 20 minutes, what do you think your topic would be?
Oh Lord. That's heavy.
Would you turn it down?
No.
Okay.
I don't say no. I don't say no to a lot of things.
Gotta
I'm
get
a
on.
comedy slut.
We're getting on all the mics.
Yeah,
There you
I still do plenty of free shows. A lot of comics that have been doing it as long as me, they're like, why would you do anything for free? It's because I love performing, you know, and I don't care if you give me a free beer, I consider that for free. I got paid. But, I mean, obviously you have to be comedy based. You know, we just also how to be nice. I like that. I like being the gay sunshine and being nice to people. It's not too hard for me.
Yeah.
I've done it for a while.
So yours would be on kindness.
Yeah, how to be like funny, I guess, kind, and be like, if you need to insult someone, do it in a nice, funny way.
Like what
So nice
happens?
that maybe they don't even know you're insulting until a few days later. It's like, wait a minute, what did she just mean by
You pull a
that?
George Costanza. Turn
Yeah,
around.
accomplisalt. I love my accomplissalts.
What is that?
It's like a insult
Oh, accomplice.
Like-
Yeah.
disguised as a compliment.
So I got a couple questions. You mentioned, I think they were talking about this the other day. Ari Spears and Joe Rogan were talking about females in the industry. Why do you think it is that it's less popular and Ari said something about like because it takes a certain kind of confidence and whatever. But Joe has some things to say about it too. What do you say about that?
I don't think it's got anything. I think women can be much more confident. The thing, there's not as many of us in the scene for sure, and I would even say like babies get in the way a lot of the time. But yeah, I don't really think there's that big of a difference. I think women are just as funny, if not more funny, than men. No offense, I'm sure you guys are great. But
Do you find that they have a hard time in the industry though?
yes, absolutely. Yeah, I kind of got sideways into it just by being a gay comedian. Because I know I've been booked for gigs specifically because of that, or like just because they needed a chick on it.
Right,
or
right.
So it wasn't total white dude sausage fest.
Right.
And I'm like, okay, well I'll take that gig, but I still know what it is.
Right.
But,
So does that make you feel some type of way, or have you learned to embrace that as an opportunity and just and have an understanding of it is what it is, and then hopefully once you make your climb and get to a certain point, you can help change that.
that's exactly. I was just talking about that with Hillary Begley out in Asheville. I was with her the other day, and she's a comic who's a Prussian. And we're like, you can either be, there's a couple women that produce shows, and they're kind of like trying to undercut the other women that are producing shows in the same city. I was like, no, we have to
Work together.
stick together, and like,
Definitely.
it's not trying to knock dudes out of the running, but like, let's make an example, and
I agree.
we can do good with this if we just help each other.
There's power in togetherness.
Yeah, absolutely.
And you have a few on Wednesdays that come out.
Yeah,
It's
it's
awesome.
nice too. It's very rare. You know, I always acknowledge it, and I hate when a comic brings you, we have our first lady of the evening. It's like, man, what the hell?
Why?
Thank you.
Whip my tampon
Why is it
out?
necessary?
Right.
Yeah, I happen to have a vagina that's got nothing to do with this.
Right.
But I
Then when
do
I'm
it on
40 times
purpose.
better than you, it's like, what about it now?
This girl.
Nikki Nicole.
Oh yeah,
she's
gonna
funny.
be my new barber. We were talking
Oh,
about
yeah?
that yesterday. I'm gonna go
Nice.
see her. She wants to start cutting my hair for me. But
She's funny.
she's got no shame, and I love her.
Yeah.
She's great.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Awesome.
I mean, we need more chicks for sure. I think that's one thing too, is because it's usually in a room. Like we have 30 comics just about every Wednesday,
Yeah.
and almost all of them will be dudes. And I think that's scary for a lot of chicks too. It's just like, how do I kind of get up in this? And if they're like nervous to talk to them, I have no issues talking to dudes. I bro out really hard. But yeah, I mean,
But there's
I
only
can
so
see
many.
the fear. I get it.
I was gonna say there's only so many dick jokes I can hear. I get like I don't even really like laughing at those jokes, but I'm just kind of like not because it's offensive. I'm just kind of
It gets old.
like be funny,
It's a
like
little
say
cliche.
something else. Like being gross and perverted is like, or I guess, but I'd rather you be a little bit funnier in other ways.
Well, that's a
you know,
new comic thing. Like when I
Is
first
it?
started, I was definitely much
Oh,
dirtier than I am
okay.
now.
Yeah.
And when I see a comic doing that, I assume he's really new, or she. But there's a couple comics they're still doing it now. They've been doing it longer than me, and they get up there and just like balls and stuff like, dude, you gotta get to a point where it's like you need to be able to perform in front of anyone.
Right.
So I need to
Right,
talk
talking to
about
people at the bar.
semen the whole time.
So
Yeah.
one of the narratives that I hear oftentimes is that people are becoming more and more sensitive to certain things. Do you find that that's true in comedy too? Like, there's jokes that would have played well before, or is
Yeah.
it still
Yeah.
kind of free range for?
Yeah, the PC-ness is getting hard these days, and actually, the kind of you've heard the joke I like to open with the whole 23andMe thing, and I like that joke because I end it with I tricked you guys. I like that joke because it starts off kind of racist, and you're afraid that I'm going to be racist with it, and then it ends up super gay, and somehow you're okay with it. I tricked you.
Yeah.
So I kind of play on that.
You
with
find
my
it different
comedy.
ways.
I like to kind of make them think it's going to be this, and then somehow trick them into liking something that they're also
Like the
scared of.
twist of the movie almost.
Oh,
Yeah, I flipped it
yeah.
and reversed it. It's your friend.
But you're okay with that? Oh, okay.
Yeah, I did that in Alabama every time because I knew Alabama don't like the gays.
Mm-hmm.
And I like tricked them. It's like, oh, don't be racist. Oh, she's just gay. She's not racist. She's just. Oh, thank God. Woo. I guess I like a gay now, so that's cool.
Kind of
When I
bringing them
opened-
in a little bit, like kind of like be a little bit more tolerant.
Yeah,
You're
I like
like,
playing with them a little
yeah,
bit. But no, when I opened for John Hinton about 3 weeks ago, he's the dude that played Overton on Living Single.
Yeah.
Okay.
He was so great. But I had a guy come up to me after the show, and I even told him about it. I was like, he came up to me and he's like, girl, you were funny. Like, oh, fuck that lesbian gay shit. That's wrong as hell, but you were funny. You made me laugh. Seriously, though, you need to be born again. And I'm like, that was a lot to take it. I like almost quoted him word for word, and I was like, would you like a sticker?
Do you have stickers? You should get stickers.
Yeah, I got a lot of stickers. Yeah, I give those out. I just gave him stickers. I was like, all right, thank you, I guess. Sorry about the whole gay thing. And I'm glad you enjoyed yourself, sir.
Oh, wow.
So, question for you. I'm a host as well, and I know how much energy that takes out of you when you're trying to set the atmosphere for people. And I can imagine it so the same for a comedian, just getting up there and having to draw people in with your very own light, your very own energy. What do you do to renew your energy?
Vodka.
Or like, what's your refuel? What's your thing like after you get done? Like,
well, definitely after I get off stage and doing a real set, like a long, like a 20 to 40 minute set. I joke about it. It's almost like having really good sex. I gotta go outside, and I don't even smoke cigarettes, but usually a cigarette really, it really helps right afterwards. And, just kind of like, oof.
Yeah.
Just kind of let it get out of my bones, and then get back in there and start listening to other people's sets.
Yeah.
I mean, that's my whole life. I love comedy so much, but I'd rather be doing that most of the time.
So this is the last question we asked during this segment, and we're going to take a break, and then we'll come back and play the game show.
Here, I got a question.
Go ahead, shoot. Go ahead.
So, quick question for you would be: so if someone was wanting to do open mic for the first time, like, what's something like you would say, like to? Because I was talking to a friend yesterday, because I went down with Joe. It was at his open mic, and I got another friend that's doing an open mic down at the Comedy Zone. So I was talking to a friend trying to get her like encouraged to do it because she's pretty funny, but she was like, I don't know if I could do that because I'm a little bit racy. I talk a little bit too. I was like, yo, have you heard comedians nowadays?
Right, yeah.
So like, what would be something that you would say to encourage that person?
Come to Crown Station. I get commission. Come check it out. Yeah, I mean, we'll be supportive, especially when someone's popping their cherry on our stage. I mean, it's a good spot. I feel like just maybe you want to go up a little sooner. Don't show up late. Try not to get shit faced. A lot of them do that, and that's
By the time you go up.
ooh, that's never
Yeah,
good
good
for
set.
anyone. But definitely try to get there soon enough that you can get up a little earlier because the crowd dies down after about 25 comedians. Go figure. They get a little tired. But, I mean, just do it. Try it out. Don't be a pussy.
Awesome, thank you.
Are you on Facebook too?
Yeah.
You should have your friend add her on Facebook so that they can link up.
All right, for sure.
I'll give you a sticker.
I'll take two.
It was your birthday recently.
No.
Did you say date 7/20/18? Your thing says your name, age, date, and I was like, oh, that's your birthday. No, you put the date of today.
Oh.
7/20/18. It
I
didn't
didn't
say
know.
birthday.
Yeah.
No, it's not.
Sorry.
I just read it. I was like, oh, it's your birthday. No.
No. I'm April. Same birthday as
Happy
you.
birthday anyways, whenever it is.
Thanks.
Yeah.
April 17th?
9th.
April 9th.
Yeah.
Got it.
was the cricket.
I'm on April 30th.
Okay.
We have a new DJ and he's getting accustomed to all the sound effects and where to plug them in. So if you hear random sound effects all day, like we're just
I
trying
had
to
the
figure
Cricket
it out.
app.
Oh, yeah. Carlos used to do that to comics when they were bombing on stage. It was so funny.
Yeah, it was funny. He's like, yeah, thanks a lot, you fucking asshole.
Yeah. He'd only do it to villains he knew.
All right,
Yeah.
last question for eulogy, and then we're gonna take a break. Are you familiar with Stephen Covey's 7 Habits of Highly Effective People?
Say that one more time.
Stephen Covey, he's an author. He
Uh-huh.
wrote a book called 7 Habits of Highly Effective People.
That sounds familiar, but I don't. Not. Yeah.
There's an exercise in there, and it's part of the reason we call this segment eulogy. So it asks you to envision that you show up to someone's funeral, and you're in the line to pay your respects. And when you get to the casket, you recognize that the person in the casket is yourself, right? And then after that, everybody that you love, you know, your friends, people you've done business with, maybe siblings, they kind of talk about your legacy and the type of person you were. What are some of the ways in which you would hope to be recognized at that time?
Obviously the kindness stuff, and I don't know, that I was funny, and I mean basically everything I'm doing now, that I was she died too soon. Yeah. I think I'm doing it. I'm doing exactly what I want. I don't have any kind of regrets right now, or I wish I had the guts to do that. I'm doing it. Chasing that dream.
So that you were definitely dedicated and did what you wanted to do.
Yeah, but they would. I mean, if I did kick the bucket tomorrow, I'm pretty sure my buddies would do me right.
Yeah,
But,
she
you know,
did.
I think the stuff they say about me to my face, I'm sure that I'm pretty happy with that.
So that you were kind, you were funny, you were helpful, that you were gone too soon. You had the guts to chase after your dreams.
Yeah, just genuine and
Genuine.
Nah, I'm not faking anything. I don't think so anyway.
And before we head out for the next segment, I think that's my interpretation of that exercise is specific towards what you said. Like, you said, like, I've kind of already done everything, or I've done it all. Like, are you living in accordance to the type of person, you know what I mean? Because
Yeah.
if not, then it opens up the door. So that's awesome that you're already doing that.
Yeah, I'm not
right?
happy with the way things are going for sure. I'm digging it.
Yeah. I got one last question, actually. So if Jerry Seinfeld called you and said he was coming to pick you up, what car would you have liked him to pick you up in? Yeah.
Oh
a good one.
Lord, there's so many.
I know. He picked some good ones.
I know.
Yeah.
Oh my God, there's so many. I watched that show too, and all of them I'm like,
All the
ooh, that'd be
time.
nice.
Yeah,
That'd be nice.
yeah.
I like that one. I don't want to be cliche and say the DeLorean, but that's all I can think of.
Nobody had that
Ain't
one
nothing wrong
yet.
with the
They haven't
DeLorean.
done
Did
that
he do
yet?
DeLorean? No, I haven't seen DeLorean. I like Obama's one. That was funny.
Yeah. I
Um,
think he'd do a better job picking than me, but
yeah, I would want a Lamborghini.
15 minutes, we'll be back in the game show.
Yeah. All right. So, Current Affairs brought to you by Bentley Blue Duck. We are brought to you, sponsored by Think Free Revolution, Fidgets McGee, 307 Productions, Live Post Publishing. Shout out to Crown Station. Mimi Benefield is here with us. We're going to be back in about 15 minutes, guys. Thanks for joining us.
Answer it, Raymond.